Star Wars Shatterpoint is in the wrong scale. And I have feelings about that. To be clear, the following diatribe is nothing. It means nothing. It's pointless, it's silly. With all of the crazy things that we are experiencing in the world on a daily basis, this means fuck all in the grand scheme. Secondly, at the recording of this video, I have not played a single game of Star Wars Shatterpoint. Therefore, my opinions will not at all be based on the quality of the game. I cannot speak to the game, I have not played the game. For all I know, the game is incredible, and it likely is. And thirdly, I have nothing against Atomic Mass games. For all I know, they could have hard drives upon hard drives of content that they just haven't mentioned yet. And if Adepticon this year is anything to go off of, I think that that is kind of correct. But this situation with Shatterpoint has been bugging me so much that I just need to say something so I can get it off my chest. Star Wars Legion and Shatterpoint should be in the exact same scale. Atomic Mass Games acquired the Star Wars properties from Fantasy Flight 2019-2018-ish. And though I've gotten in way more games of MESBG than I have of Legion, Legion's rules are very, very cool. The movement is fun, the dice are really cool, the tactics are so very interesting, and it's fucking Star Wars, man! But not to rest on their laurels, Atomic Mass introduced the crowdfunding campaign for their new game, Star Wars Shatterpoint. A campaign which I went into with the highest of highs and hit the lowest of lows in the matter of 30 seconds. I was so excited to see the new models. At the time, we didn't have an Ahsoka model for the Clone Wars. We had gotten the Maul model with the release of the Shadow Collective, but Bo-Katan Kryze, the introduction and the roadmap for the things that they wanted to introduce into this game, all of the different bespoke models were so cool for me. And then I found out what scale it was in. Now, Star Wars Legion was produced in the ballpark of a 32mm scale. Star Wars Shatterpoint is in the 40mm scale. This is kind of a ridiculous sticking point for me, because in the back of my lizard brain, I can't put the bespoke models from Star Wars Shatterpoint in the same scenarios as my Star Wars Legion models, because they don't fit. They're not the same size. And a handful of other wargaming companies, they have created full army games and skirmish-sized games that use the same models. Obviously, GW is a big one, but very recently, CMON has even introduced a skirmish-style wargame to their army wargame, Song of Ice and Fire. Song of Ice and Fire Tactics. And though the models being playable or compatible is not necessarily a requirement, it is still something that both of the previously mentioned companies have done, to the point of it almost becoming a standard. You don't have to tell me about how in the past, GW had created a 40mm scale game in the form of the Inquisitor game. They have since moved away from that because it is easier for all of the models to be within the same scale. Obviously, Star Wars Legion is a army-based game, where Star Wars Shatterpoint is more of a character-driven game. But it would be so cool to see some of the models that are being produced for Star Wars Shatterpoint make their way over to Star Wars Legion. Namely, for me, it is the number of Jedi characters that are available for Star Wars Shatterpoint. Don't get me wrong, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda are great models to have for the Clone Wars, but Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Barriss Offee, Kit Fisto, Mace Windu? Not to mention so many other named characters that are coming for other factions, like the entirety of the Rogue One squad. The Mandalorian Covert hurts me on such a level. The Night Sisters? Oh, and the Inquisitors. The other Inquisitors. I know Legion has two, but Reva's such a cool character, guys! Oh my god, Balin Skull? Morgan Elsbeth? Enoch? Atomic Mass decided to go with the larger scale to be more in line with what they were doing with Marvel Crisis Protocol, it seems. Which is their prerogative as the publisher, but I'm just kind of disappointed by it. What I genuinely think the core of my frustration, what it boils down to, the hill that I am dying on, is that I think it's a missed opportunity. Even if those models weren't meant to be compatible, if they were produced in the very same scale, being able to swap them in a proxy way out between your armies would allow people to, at least in some small way, continue to vary and differentiate their armies, because one thing that you will always find when you deal with wargamers is they want their armies to look unique to them, even if they are sharing a paint scheme with the guy right next door. I'm of course not talking about Ultramarine players, but you get my drift. We're not talking about GW, regardless if I think that one of them should have been in a different scale. I trust this company in the development and publication of their games. I know it's silly and pedantic and stupid and the dumbest hill to die on, but it is a hill that I, for whatever reason, could not get over. If you've made it this far, I think you're obligated to join the discussion in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like Star Wars Shatterpoint? Is it a game that I should give a fair shake? I appreciate you sticking it out with me and taking the time to watch this video all the way to the end. This is the part of the video where I ask you to deal with all the buttons downstairs that everyone else bugs you about. My name is Arden13. Thank you so much for joining me. I am still waiting on that ramen, and I will still die on silly little hills, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.